Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get started. I'd like to officially call to order the Madison County Planning Commission meeting session for Tuesday, July 16th. Order, and that's for roll call.
Mary Otter.
Here.
Doug Fritz.
Here.
Shannon Pennington.
Here.
Bill Klaus.
Here.
Brian Adams.
Here.
Bill Buchanan.
Here.
Robert Plum.
Here. Let the record show we have a quorum. First order of business is approval of the minutes. Everyone should receive a copy of the minutes in their packet. It's for the meeting session for April 16th, 2024. Is there any corrections or additions to the minutes as received? If not, then a motion be in order to approve.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve, is there a second?
Second.
Have a motion to approve and second. Any further discussion? If not, we'll have a vote.
Bill Klaus.
Yes.
Brian Adams.
Yes.
Bill Buchanan.
Yes.
Shannon Pennington.
Yes.
Doug Fritz.
Yes.
Mary Otter.
Yes.
Robert Plum.
Yes. Next order of business is signed up plan, Whitehall Office Fire Department. Bert will bring us up to speed on work session.
We just had a couple things for them, some signature lines and adding a signature line for the sewer company. We talked about doing that. I think that's the only one question we have about it.
Does the commissioner have any comments? Sorry. If not, then I'll call for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve site development plan with the Whitehall Volunteer Fire Department.
Got a motion to accept the site development plan for Whitehall Volunteer Fire Department. Have a second.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Not without a vote.
Mary Otter.
Yes.
Doug Fritz.
Yes.
Shannon Pennington.
Yes.
Bill Klaus.
Yes.
Brian Adams.
Yes.
Bill Buchanan.
Yes.
Robert Plum.
Yes.
Thanks, sir.
I'm glad you get everything that's on the work session. Next is the.
We can't hear in the back.
Yeah, I can hear you.
We can't hear nothing.
So try to speak up a little bit. All we do.
We'll try to speak a little louder. We don't have any kind of mics.
Thank you.
Just say your name and address for the record.
Kimmel, Salamevich, it's an address,
Yes.
as far as, 100 Trade Street, Lexington, Kentucky, for Denham Life, and 1740 Berea Road for Oklahoma.
Okay.
My only notes on this development plan were the parking requirements for this addition. I did speak with
Ashley?
Ash. This addition is relocation of existing employees. They're just overcrowded in the space they're working in now, so we're just creating a new space for existing employees, or, new employees hired as a result of this addition. I think we're just talking about 10 parking spaces anyway. She indicated that there was more than enough existing parking there, so I believe that answers my question about that, unless you all have anything else to do.
Commissioner, any comments? Not then, we'll call for a motion.
Make a motion to approve site development plan over and out.
Have a motion to approve the site development plan for Okanai. Is there a second?
What are we approving?
Okanai. Okanai.
Okay.
Okanai second. Motion second. Further discussion?
Thank you.
If not, then a vote.
Doug Fritz.
Yes.
Mary Otter.
Yes.
Shannon Pennington.
Yes.
Bill Buchanan.
Yes.
Brian Adams.
Yes.
Bill Klaus.
Yes.
Robert Plum.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Next on the agenda is a site development plan for the Chenault Vineyard Amphitheater. Board, you want to bring us up to speed for the work session?
We have a few items from the work session. To the podium there if you like. Tell us who you are and who you with.
My name's Bill Esri, we landscape architecture in Winchester. It's Chenault Vineyard.
So I guess the biggest question from the work session was, the parking lot issue. Everything else, I believe, has been addressed. If you all look on the last page, this is the last page on mine. They requested a variance in the middle of that, bottom of the middle of that page, with some supporting comments about why they would like to have that variance on the blacktop. Obviously, our regulations require parking lots to be blacktop, but you all would have the power to waive that requirement.
Is it a complete waiver or just for, variance for,
Well, that's a discussion we need to have, yeah.
I mean,
I don't think we've ever waived completely. I think we postponed it for, certain types of construction, types of uses. But this is obviously a unique situation here, not anything like this, in the county. If you read, the second paragraph there, they're limited by their conditional use permit to the events and the number of people they can have there anyway. They're indicating they're only gonna have 4 events per year.
4 major events.
4 major events per year, major being something that would require this much parking.
Yes, sir.
In that capacity.
Yes, sir.
That number of people. I know, we've had some gracious churches before, because they only meet once a week. This is even less intensive than that.
But that's nice.
That's not,
But-
that's right.
Just in the past week, I was over at the Exile concert over at the.
Equus
what's it
Run.
called? Yes, and they parked everybody on grass, and it was at least 2,000 people there.
Keeneland parks everybody on grass.
Yes, it did.
I wasn't at the work session, so what was the basis for the waiver?
Well, the basis for the waiver is, this, this is out in the county. It's agribusiness. It's a winery growing grapes, and it's a cattle farm. And they want to add a amphitheater in there to, to more business. So, our take is, it's still a cattle farm. It's still a winery. It's still a farm. So, we're going to have some major events, 4 major events. They're not going to happen in April. They're going to happen in June, July, August, September, when the ground is dry. So, that's even better than Keeneland. Keeneland's does it in April,
Is it gravel or is it still?
We have gravel drives, we have gravel parking, and then we have 2 large grass parking areas.
What kind of arrangements have you made for emergency vehicles that may need to get in when it does happen to rain?
We've,
Is it on here?
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
This whole area, this whole area. Right here this whole area right here is for emergency vehicles, fire. Everything. Fire. You've also got a lot of 2 days fire at the national parking area. Access spaces, both standard and handicap, the wheelchair. And we've got the pay service for that, and we've got the route.
do they restrict you to daylight operation only? Or do you have night concerts?
Yeah, the intention is to have evening concerts.
Because we need lighting for people leaving, entering and leaving.
If we plan to use the temporary light plants, we just had a concert 2 weeks ago, we utilized the temporary light plants,
How many people do you think you have for that?
800. It was kind of a trial run and it all worked great. I mean, everybody that left there, they were out in 20 minutes.
But this goes up to 4,000. So it's 5 times what you had this weekend.
Right. 4 times.
4 times.
What about the presidents? We made it like it do.
Yes, you have. This is unique, this is a unique situation. Because we don't have anything else like it here. It is a farm.
It's a business, you run it as a business.
Yeah, but it's frequency too. It's what they're talking about 4 times.
Our stance is, it is a business, but, you know, we're not a shopping center, we're not a business park. we're
Well,
not a
that's
school.
now, but see, you're saying you're only gonna have a limited number of events. But next year, you may have 5 times that. There's nothing to limit you on the quantity of events you have.
The number we'll have a year,
Yeah,
we don't plan to have any more than that.
well, I know that. You know, think of it, as we made everybody else do it. You know, and it's business, you know, they're business, right? So, but anyway.
I can remember the, indoor archery, I think about Lego, several years ago. We worked with them, you know, time period, maybe 3 years, whatever, to let the rock settle and dry on for a while and that kind of stuff.
I don't remember the details.
Yeah, I don't know all of it anyway.
I mean, I think, something like that might be appropriate here to kind of give you a feel for how it's gonna go. If the number of events stay the same, if you don't have any problems, if you don't have any complaints. Obviously, Shannon, to your point, if they wanted to expand or add, they would have to come back again with the new site development plan showing that expansion.
Will they have to do that, Bert, if you're saying 4 today, but they decided to do 20 next year, they don't have to ask to do 20.
So if you limit the time frame, how long you're gonna allow for the main gravel.
Well, now that,
If they want to come back when the time frame is up and say, we want to continue this, it's going good, and not have issues. Obviously, I would have those complaints if there were any. You also make, you can make them do like that at that time. I mean, I don't really think they know what to expect out of this, right? They're going into this, they obviously hope to be successful, but if they're not, it'd be a moot point, they probably wouldn't want to do anything else anyway, so.
But the, Board of Justice did put this kind of stipulation on forward, just, they just, you all just said
I
that's what
think it was addressed,
I
that
don't remember,
number.
I know specifically they put I need y'all in the audience, please stop talking. We already have people that can't hear, and it really sounds loud up here, okay? Thank you, that's all right. Just wanna make sure everybody can hear. They limited the number, I don't remember if they limited the number of events per year or not. You know, you could add something to this site development plan that, you know, I don't know, Judy, you got any ideas about some wording or some kind of, something they could add to the waiver that says, the additional requirements they could put on, would that be more of adjustments issue?
That's more of a Board of Adjustments issue. I don't think a site development plan is an appropriate place.
you know, like if we put a
So
time,
it's not recorded anyway, right? Yeah.
you know, we put a time limit on it like we have other things that.
And then they have to come back at that time, and then you could deny
That
it.
would be fine, but we can make them do that, you know what I'm saying?
I hope it is successful. Oh, they have 20 people, I wanna see 10, 15 of them.
But you want to make sure it doesn't.
I don't want to
create
stuff in the mud.
Yeah.
So what would it look like to revisit it in 2 or 3 years? How do you?
It would look like your motion would be, we'll approve this, waiver, they'll need to come back they'll need blacktop within 2 years. And their options are to either blacktop it,
Is it?
or to come back and ask to extend that,
The waiver would be a 2-year waiver at this time.
of
Site
that
development
requirement,
plan is no longer approved unless meets.
unless they come back, or
They could ask for an extended.
they could ask for an extension. I mean, that's something y'all can work with.
Absolutely.
Is
Way
that for
back.
the gravel lot and the grass lots,
Yeah.
for both of them?
You gotta go.
I can do that.
Okay, I'll call for a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the Chenal Vineyard Amphitheater with the, inclusion of the waiver, waiving the parking lot requirements for 2 years.
Second. Motion and second. For discussion? If not, we'll have a vote.
Bill Buchanan,
Yes.
Brian Adams,
Yes.
Bill Klaus,
Yes.
Shannon Pennington,
Yes.
Doug Fritz,
Yes.
Larry Iver,
Yes.
Robert Farmer.
Yes.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next on our agenda is a a site development plan for 2707 Lottenville Loop. Bert, don't be up to speed on our first section.
This is, for the mobile home lot at the corner of Green Crossing and Urban Road. I don't remember what I told you to do about that road, but I'm trying to, you let me know that it was a county road, it was part of the right of way, right?
Correct. It is part of the state right.
We don't have to do anything with that.
We're just gonna restore it back to grass.
Show me where the fire hydrant is, detention, retention areas, I had to run on here. I see the detention one right there, but that was one person, wasn't it? I don't know how I come on those.
Yep, that was on the first one, yes, sir.
This is not, no picture.
No, can't.
Proposed signage,
Show it on the corner of Greens Crossing.
pretty standard. Okay, that's all the notes I had.
Any comments or questions, Commissioner Sam? I know it's roll call motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the site development plan for 2707 Robbinsville Loop.
Okay, have a motion to approve, is there a second? Have a motion and a second, any further discussion? If not, we'll have a vote.
Mary Ifer,
Yes.
Doug Fritz,
Yes.
Bill Klaus,
Yes.
Brian Adams,
Yes.
Bill Buchanan,
Yes.
Shannon Pennington,
Yes.
Robert Farmer.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Kicking off everyone right after the.
Next on our agenda is a major subdivision plat for 1755 4 Mile Road.
Wayne Wheatley. Join us. First, you can vote. All right, let's see, this is a major subdivision plat for 4 Mile Road, with proposed distances on 4 Mile. I thought Scott Shepherd said he marked where he wants those road, entrances to be, so we need to show them here.
It's actually a large tract.
It's still a major subdivision,
Yeah,
Large tract,
I'm not sure if we realize, but it's 10-acre tracts.
yeah, well, that's one of my notes, you still got up to 10 acres on here.
Yeah, well, they're really over 10. It's just like 10.001 or something like that.
Oh, okay, well.
We're a few square feet over. Make sure there's all over.
Make sure, yeah.
And I'll try to get it to where it says like 10.02 or whatever.
Or just make it 10.1, 10.01.
Okay, yes.
Fire flow, so you're showing me a couple fire hydrants on here, but are those existing or proposed?
No, we're gonna have to add these fire hydrants.
Do we have 6-inch water line out there?
We got Wilshire Walk, I know it does.
You gonna run from there?
And then there's fire hydrants on past us too.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get with Jared and make sure we may have to lay a new line down through there if we do.
Okay. Well, let's show it on here.
Yeah, that fire hydrant's there and add the signatures.
I couldn't find anything, I guess we must have dropped that, those larger setbacks on the large track. It used to be a requirement in our large track.
Used to be like 50-foot setbacks.
Yeah, I think we must have changed that. You said, it said on our 50-foot right of way down 4 Mile Road, probably couldn't find that plat today that you referenced. Where did that plat come from, that designated 50 foot, usually that'd be 36.
Yeah, well, we surveyed this for the people from Connecticut
Okay.
a long time ago.
So there's a recorded plat that shows 50 foot, 4 Mile.
Yeah, and then over on the other side, and over 25 from the center on our side, and then we've done a bunch for Mary Arthur over there on the other side of the road too. That I would think would have dedicated the other 25 feet.
Marshalls and Henry and then all our across from it too.
This was all part of the house farm one time, so.
I mean, across the street.
Yeah, every bit of this cross street is all part of the old house farm.
So those new setbacks, so they're actually 50 feet from the center of the road. So if you got 15 foot, if you got 30 foot right away, you only got 15 feet from the center, so it's only 40 feet.
Well,
But you sure you got 50, so that's only like 25 probably.
yeah, I know we were.
So we're gonna mark the entrances, make it 10 acres, or make it more than 10 acres. Fire flow, fire hydrants, and utility company secrets. That's all I had.
We'll discuss the,
Sorry.
yeah, sorry about that. Lot, for track 3-B6.
B6.
Yeah, it says 163 and everything else is at 236.
So you got C1, you gotta add to that. C1 is another 70 feet. 163 and 70
Yeah,
is
we missed that.
230, something.
That was a question. Okay, any other questions, comments? Commissioners? One question or comment? Is anyone in the audience here to address this mobile plat? Or
I'd like to know how many houses are being planned for it.
pardon?
How many houses are being
There's
planned?
7 lots out there.
7 lots, and then they're all 10 acres, I believe.
7 lots on 10
Large
acres.
tract, or actually, a baby farm, I guess you call it.
One per lot, so 7 total.
Yeah.
So 70 acres for one of those.
Yes.
Love it.
Any other question? Okay, I'll open the floor for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the major subdivision plat at 1755 4 Mile Road.
With addition of signatures, signatures, fire flood, fire hydrant, lots more than 10 acres, and acres is more. That's what you were trying to say.
Add that to the motion. Okay, second to the motion.
I'll second the motion.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? If not, we'll have a vote.
Bill Klaus,
Yes.
Brian Adams,
Yes.
Bill Buchanan,
Yes.
Shane Pennington,
Yes.
Doug Rich,
Yes.
Larry Iver,
Yes.
Robert Farmer.
Yes. Next on our agenda is 1377 Boonesboro Road, land use change, so I'll talk about the nation here, maybe.
Yes, what's the first one?
Boonesboro Road.
Borough Road, yes, I believe, Mr. O is representing that application.
Please state your name and address for a record.
Stuart Olds, 218 West Main Street, Richmond, Kentucky.
What did you have any?
Just inquiries.
Mr. Rhodes, is this drawing different from the one in the packet?
I believe that is the same one. I just wanted to bring it in paper in case it was easier to see that way. Given the length of your agenda, I'll try to be concise. If I skip over something you think is important, please ask. I represent Melissa and Elizabeth Day. They own a farm of about 212 acres on Boonesboro Road, and the best way I can describe it is it surrounds the new school that was built there. They are asking you to rezone 131.83 acres of that property from ag to single-family residential moderate density. That 131.83 acres basically would start at the new school and go down to Lost Fork Road. They own an additional 80 acres that would run between the new school and the tradition subdivision, which they are not asking to rezone. That's the property that has their old ancestral family home on it, and we'll keep that as a farm. Okay, so we're talking about from the school down to Lost Fork, 131.83 acres. I've submitted in the packet a letter from both water and sewer that they have sufficient capacity at the property to provide for residential development of the type being talked about. Basis for the change. Basically, this complies with your comprehensive plan. In the packet that I'm sure you've got, I've cited a number of your statistics. And I won't belabor those, but basically, your comprehensive plan says in 2010, we had 82,000 folks here. You think that population is gonna grow to 106,000 by 2040. And your comprehensive plan says we need some place to put these folks. And as part of that plan, you have designated areas that you call urban corridors and rural corridors, where your plan has already predetermined that there is sufficient infrastructure at those locations to accommodate this type of growth. Boonesboro Road, I believe, is part of the urban corridor now. So it does have sufficient road, water lines, sewers, all those kind of things to do the type of things we're gonna do. I want to cite just a little bit from the goals of your comprehensive plan. It says, page 22, that northern Madison County is the closest in proximity to Lexington and can serve as a prime location for residential growth for highway journeyers who work in Lexington but want to live in Madison County. Municipal sanitary sewer services are available. New development in this area should consider high-density, high-quality development that promotes upper-end housing, shopping options, and walkability. For the Boonesboro corridor, low-density residential and pockets of neighborhood commercial uses would be most appropriate along rural corridors that extend from Madison County at the I-75 interchange to Boonesboro and Clark County. So your plan that was adopted in 2021, I believe, indicates that this is one of those areas where it would be appropriate to accommodate this kind of growth. We're asking for all of it to be zoned residential, none of it commercial, multifamily, all single-family residential. Got a new school there that should provide at least for those folks for a while. We've got all the other services that are necessary there to provide for them. These folks would have great access to both Winchester, Lexington, Richmond, Interstate 75, where they could go anywhere they need. Normally, I would be a little more verbose about what I said, but given your agenda, I'm going to leave it at that unless you guys have questions.
So, you may not be this far along yet. Which road would this come out on?
I believe all of the traffic will come out on Boonesboro Road. Lost Fork Road is not large enough to meet your regulatory requirements. So before anybody did anything in Lost Fork, they would have to expand that, and we do not intend to. The conceptual drawing that Mr. Wheatley has put together for these folks show that all the traffic coming out on Boonesboro.
In Boonesboro, you're talking about 627?
Yes, sir.
And that's kind of on the curve, though, right?
There is a curve there. There is a section just past the school that's pretty straight, and I think that's where the entrance would be.
Has the state traffic folks weighed in on this?
They have, at least Mr. Wheatley has looked at this enough to know that we're gonna have to put some turn lanes in. I don't think the traffic folks have conducted a traffic study. But certainly, before we can install an entrance there, the state highway department is gonna have to approve that entrance. So I'm sure Mr. Wheatley's already addressed that with them, or he wouldn't have drawn the conceptual drawing with the entrance where it is.
Or we don't need that approval?
At this stage, no, that would be more of a site development issue, yeah. Development this size, of course, both of those state highways, so regardless of where the entrance goes, the state will have jurisdiction over the entrance. We will have jurisdiction over the exits, because that'll be a county road, and a development of this size requires a pretty good size exit. In other words, right turn lanes, left turn lanes, third lane, which will be four lane here. But the width of it will be pretty substantial for this number of lots.
You said development of this size, is it 300 or so homes? Is that right?
No, sir, I believe 100 rather than this, we need to make the plan together. It is too small for me to be able to read it. You know what I'm talking about?
182.
182. Obviously, that's just one thing on how things lay out, but.
Any other questions or comments?
I would love you to make a little more record. Are you through your presentation?
Yes, sir.
Can you confirm, Bert, this property, is that straight off?
It's in the urban core.
And you have an applicant here, Mr. Olds?
I do not, the 2-day ladies are not here this evening.
Part of the package that's been presented as evidence is that Northern Madison County Sanitation District says that they can serve
I have a letter from, Madison County Utilities about the water, and I have a letter from, Northern Madison County Sanitation District, Manager, concerning the sewer.
they both have said that was adequate, that's been presented to the board as part of the evidence.
That's right, it's in the package.
That's what's it from.
We submitted the plan to them, and one of them said it would it would handle a capacity of up to 300. We don't intend to use that many, but asking for that many areas.
I think that was Elliott Turner, sort of, Madison Sanitation.
Yes, sir.
What is the length that you from, Lost Fork Road? Looks quite long.
Can we look at it up here on the screen, maybe, does it come down to?
Right here.
No,
No, it comes
No.
all the way down there.
yeah. But I don't believe there will be any, you're not closing any entrances on.
We are
Lost
not.
Fork.
It looks like about 2,500 feet, just roughly adding up the distances on that document that I gave you along Lost Fork.
But, there's nothing saying that we may not approve an entrance on 627. We may decide we want them to widen that road for entrance beyond Lost Fork.
Well, I think you would leave that decision up to the state. If they're gonna approve an entrance, why don't you all, you don't really have any authority over the road, other than from a planning standpoint. If they're gonna be okay, they're gonna make it, they're gonna make it.
So we could force them to put an entrance on Lost Fork.
You need an additional entrance?
Yes.
That certainly could.
Yeah.
Site development, yes.
Because of the size of this. And having another entrance, major entrance, right there by that Lost Fork. So
Yeah.
I think it's an issue.
It's something we can talk about, but it's not appropriate at this time.
Well, I think with farmers, if there's concern about whether or not this is suitable land for development, the fact that there's a possibility that there's multiple entrances would be in favor of, and if there wasn't, then against it, I guess, is that?
Yeah.
Is there a survey, Mr. Olds, of property that's going to be, that you're asking to have, or is it?
I circulated one, Mr. Miller.
Is that, and, Mr. Wheatley did that?
Yes, sir.
So the specific land to be rezoned is already, I mean.
It's already defined, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I may be ahead, but what about water runoff on the same, it's got some roll to it.
Yeah. All that would be, all that would be addressed in site development, retention, there's pretty good. Not water doesn't line stream, but it's close, it runs, down the property, obviously, the district water would be involved if they had to do any work there, but that would all be addressed in the site development.
So this is, you're calling this medium density, what is that entail?
Because we have sewer, we don't have to go to an acre lots. I believe your medium density will allow half acre, I believe.
12,000 square foot lots, as opposed to 1 acre lots.
Up to 3 per acre.
Yeah, but if you've got how many acres?
131.8.
Yeah, so they're obviously not.
Revised and we're close to that.
Time you put your infrastructure in, your roads, your retention, you don't hardly ever get that much out of it.
Okay, any comment? If not, is there anyone in the audience that'd like to address this, zone change?
I have a question.
Okay, Jim Miller's going first.
Go ahead.
I need to swear you in.
Do I need to come up or can I just?
You come up.
You come up, I need to swear you in. Please state your name and address for the record.
Jennifer Browning, 100 Congleton Lane, Richmond, Kentucky.
Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Okay, we'll get in there.
So my concern is the school system. can Boothborough Elementary accept this many additional children? Do you have
We
anything?
don't know how many children gonna be.
No, of course not, but you've got 182 houses, you know, like,
I'm pretty sure when they built the school, they built it to, I mean, they're not at their maximum.
yeah,
They usually don't build a school system that way.
it's just something to consider.
Yes, I agree, yeah. So that's your only
It's
issue?
not only issue, there's just many houses going in and our schools are really crowded. You know, I know some of them, they don't even have room in the classrooms, they can't gather in the gym together, they have to, you know, gather separately, the kids are sitting on the floor, you know, when they have, you know, pep rallies and things like that, it's just, it's hard to deal with as a parent.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else, for a different issue? Yes, sir.
Sean Governor, 265 Gadwall Drive.
Put your right hand, you swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
Thank you, sir, go ahead.
Just had a quick question about ingress and egress. If it's gonna be on 627, will it be light control there or? is it just
All those decisions we made by the state.
Later? I just
Well,
know,
not only later, but that intersection would be regulated by the state.
I just know coming from Lost Fork, I crossed my fingers just trying to get out of there one time. I can imagine, you know, if there's 2 cars per family, that trying to get in and out of there, it's,
Yeah, I went out there this morning, and, I had the same issue, I turned down the dollar store, and went down the Lost Fork, and I can see where it's, an issue.
yeah. So, and I don't know, I think at one point they talked about flattening the hill out to a certain degree to get a little better sight line.
We have had that conversation, I don't know if that, some planning commission, and it was required, but obviously if it's a sightline issue with our road department or with the state, because if we are road coming out of there, then that's something that they can require.
Gotcha, okay, that's all I had. Thank you guys, appreciate it.
State your name and address for the record.
David Daly, 480 Gadwall Drive.
Okay, please raise your right hand, swear to tell the truth, nothing but the
I do.
truth. Yes, sir.
My question is, I spoke with Ms. Gooch, your administrative assistant, and she said that this is strictly for single-family homes, not mobile homes. Is that correct?
Correct.
What size of lots are we talking about, and what price of homes? I live on Gadwall, and a house next to me just went for $675. One over on Graydon's Lane just went for $750. And so I hate to see houses like what's over on off of 4 Mile. Those sections over there where the houses are 20 feet off the driveway, cars are up and down the street, you can't even get through. And so I'm concerned about number of houses and lot size, and what it's gonna do to property values on the coast of Gadwall.
Good question. As long as you speak to lot size, I think that's the.
Yes, so we mentioned that they were most likely to get 12,000 square foot lots, but probably not like to that density because they've already told us 182 homes, 12,000 square foot lots would get you about 3 lots per acre, but they're not proposing that much, so.
The proposed zoning amendment would speak to house size or whether the corners would be allowed in or not.
This is a question of
single family.
Single family, then the developer will set the lot size. But it will be site built homes, there will be no manufactured homes, no trailers, no multifamily, it'll all be single family site built homes.
How close together are houses gonna be?
We have a 10-foot setback.
I drive up 75 and I see houses off of Manowar 6 feet apart. One house caught fire and burned the whole neighborhood.
The most any large could ever be would be 20 to 22 feet. That is the closest they could be. Usually, typically in the county, we don't see that kind of density. There's a 10-foot side setback on each lot line.
And this is just along Gadwall, the Lost Fork side of the school. What about in the future when they get ready to do the Gadwall section?
I wouldn't want to speculate on that. I think Mr. Old said that they don't have any intention, that's their own farmstead, they're gonna keep that farm. So I don't think we can speculate on what's gonna happen there if anything.
And the Sword Farm, which is behind me,
future.
Everything presented to me or any questions about either one of those properties.
Bert, do we have any equivalent subdivisions you can compare this to, lot size wise? If you want to have something that's maybe 13 acre lots.
We're looking at hundred and 82 lots on 130 acres. You gotta take the roads out, so we're probably more up in the half acre lot size in on these lots.
I'll give you a second, so.
Okay.
I don't know, I can't really think of one off the top of my head, just because we don't have a lot of places in the county where you have this type of availability of sewer. So most of our subdivisions are acre lots. We do, there's a couple, there's Twin Lakes, Prairie View, Does Landing, places like that.
Those landings kind of come to mind.
Yeah. Those are 100-foot wide lots, they're still 100, so even our acre lots, it's minimum 100 feet wide. So to answer your question about the house being right next to each other, unless you have an issue where you had to move the house one way or the other, most people want their house to be right in the middle of their lot, right, for their privacy issue. So if you have a 100-foot wide house and or a 100-foot wide lot and a 40-foot wide house, it leaves you 30 feet on either side, on both sides of it, right?
So that's the thinking, 100-foot lot size?
And there's also a green space requirement too, with
Not till you get down to the really small lots, the high density. Yeah.
anything else? Thank you, sir. Anyone else with maybe a different issue or? Mr. Olds, I'll give you a few minutes to say anything.
I apologize for jumping in there, Mr. Farmer, when I wasn't called on.
That's okay.
82 houses on 130 acres, take the roads and the other infrastructure out. We're looking more like a half acre lot or maybe a little larger than that even, if that's what we're doing. Wayne, can you tell from this, so we have some large lots, some 2 acre kind of lots, but we're not gonna have 3rd acre lots all over this property, and we're not gonna have 390, which probably, or 300 and something, which might be possible in this zoning.
No one else has anything to add or some different concern? Commissioner members, any other comment? Concern? And not, I'll just call for a motion.
Oh, I forgot to give it. There are proposed findings for all submissions before your record to review those. I would suggest to you the proposed findings Mr. Olds has made. If you find that the findings of fact that are in his findings have been proven today through the presentation he's made, through the comments both by the audience members and the administrative staff, that they would be sufficient to vote in favor. If you do not find that those things were adequately proven to you today, or otherwise find that the proposed map amendment is not in compliance with the comprehensive plan, you should make that motion on proposed findings in that regard. But you do want to make those findings one way or the other along with your motion.
Mr. Miller, is the paperwork presented part of the facts of this?
Yes, it is part of the presentation, and I asked Mr. Olds about a couple of those things, make sure that
I heard you do
they're
that.
in the record. And of course, comments from the audience members are part of the record, and that is finding facts in which you can make a finding, as well as statements made by the administrator of the Christian City.
I make the motion that we approve the zone change for 1377 Louisville Road, approximately 132 acres, and from UC 7 to single family moderate density. And enter into the finding of facts, the information that was submitted by Mr. Old and the facts today.
We have a motion to make a recommendation to the fiscal court that they approve this zoning change. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
Have a motion second. Any further discussion?
just make one comment.
Sure.
I'm gonna vote for this, but it's very thin on the evidence. Mr. Miller's pointed it out, that the statute requires finding of evidence, and I think we've got enough to make the finding. I think Mr. Olds did a great job, except I personally would have liked to have a little more testimony from at least the people asking for the variance. But it does meet the requirements of the statute, does meet the requirement that this is part of the plan for that commercial corridor. And I do think we just barely have enough evidence to do it, to act on it. But I just wanted to make that open statement that we need a little more evidence. We do need more evidence.
Any comment or ask for a vote? Okay, have a vote.
Mary Allen,
Yes.
Bill Klaus,
Yes.
Doug Fritz,
Yes.
Brian Adams,
Yes.
Billy Cannon,
Yes.
Shannon Pennington,
Yes.
Robert Farmer.
Yes.
Let me make this announcement, Robert, since we do have multiple zone changes tonight for everybody here. This is a recommendation. It's not the final word, it's a recommendation that goes now to the fiscal court, who will have, 2 readings of an ordinance to make this change on the fiscal court and pass an ordinance to change the official zoning map of Madison County. If anybody has any questions about when that'll be heard or when it'll be on the agenda, feel free to call my office, and be within the next 2 to 6 weeks. And on the paperwork prepared and ordinances prepared and you can get it on this report.
Okay. Thank you, Bert. Okay, next on, anyone like to leave, I'll call my officer, for 2 minutes, anyone like to leave. If not, you're welcome to stay. Alright, next on our agenda is zone change 2021 Berea Road. Where are you going to do this?
Yeah, third one. This should fit, right? Yeah, yes, sir.
Let me get it pulled up on the map here, because I want to make sure they can see where this is. It's a little bit of another unique situation.
In your packet were some, drawings from the comprehensive plan and land use ordinance, copy of the plat for the development, some aerials from the PBA, and some photographs. I have made copies of those to circulate. If anybody needs those, we don't have those in part of the package. They're the same. Yes. Okay.
Where did you want to open up?
So this lot, y'all will check it out. It's right on the corner of Clarksville Lane. I know where it is, you don't have to know, I see it. Clarksville Lane, Greer Road, across from Madison Gardens. It's currently zoned to agriculture. I can't remember in my lifetime it ever being used for anything but commercial purpose of some kind. There was an old bottling gas company there for a long time. It's currently being used as a storage laydown kind of yard for a mobile home moving company. I think the current owner is wanting to maybe do something a little different with it. I just felt it was getting a little bit outside of the non-conforming use. And Mr. Olds decided he would apply for a zone change. Obviously, as you all know, our regs require at least 1 acre for a commercial lot. This is not an acre. I'm sure that Mr. Olds is going to have an argument about why he thinks that should be waived in this case. But in any case, I'll let you.
Can I ask a question before you guys just make sure that, it's currently, so less than acre lot, so UC7, which is agricultural, it's been non-conforming, I guess, ever since, the regs were put in, is that what it's?
Probably before the regs were put in, to be honest with you.
Do you know, can you give any light as to how this came to be zoned agricultural?
Well, that man right there will know more than me about that.
Cause the lane around it is, looks like only one side to the south is the only UC7 that's even around, is that right, Mr. Olin?
That's correct. I included in here a map that shows all the zones in this area. You do have that one UC7 area, and on that map, I've put a little black ink mark for the property in question right in that corner.
I know you have used to be a hotel, Lena's Antiques, which was
This is their property.
It's just one of those overlays. My question
I
is
know
just,
it is, but I'm saying, in that sense.
And it could be, you know, at the time someone, alright, to go back, and Robert, please jump in, because you recall this, when Madison County first adopted countywide planning and zoning, the planning commission kind of went through the county and said, all right, this area is residential, this area is agriculture, this area is commercial. They just kind of painted areas with a broad brush, and I suspect because of the trucking company that was there, which is now the road department, and the Lena's Antiques, that was a commercial building, that, a lot of that area at the time that was done, was probably commercial, including this lot. Why but this lot wasn't quite as developed as some of the developed property around it. Again, it was a bottling, an LP gas facility where they store large amounts of gas that they then distributed to
well, I
customers.
guess really to kind of look at my question, there's no reason to believe this was a considered decision by the county at the time that it was made agricultural, that should be used agricultural.
I mean, I'm not a farmer, but we have a couple that are in here. I don't think anybody's gonna farm 3/4 of an acre.
Mr. Owens,
Yes, sir.
are we looking at this and just following down, we're looking at it as existing zoning classification given to this property is inappropriate, and that the proposed zoning classification that you're proposing today is appropriate? Is that the exception we're using today?
That's correct.
Okay, then that makes a lot of sense to y'all's argument.
That's correct. So I went back and looked, I pulled the deeds for this property back to 1969, and I can circulate this deed for you. In 1969, a company called Texas Eastern Transmission Corporation acquired this property. And it was ultimately conveyed to Quantum Chemical Corporation and through various other companies before Mr. Fritz, who's here with me tonight, acquired it. So we believe it's been used for a petroleum distribution facility, liquid petroleum LP distribution facility going back at least 1969 from that deed. To my knowledge, I grew up here, to my knowledge, as Mr. Thomas says, never been used for agricultural purposes. So the question is just, it's not appropriate that it be agricultural. What is it appropriate to be? So I provided a copy of your zoning map, all the red on there is UC4. If you go out US 25 past the 421, does everybody have that? Okay. You go out US 25 past the 421 splits, you've got Flowers Market, you've got the County Safety City, you've got the next property that Mr. Thomas was just talking about, and then you've got this property. Past it, you've got Lena's Antique, somebody mentioned that, you've got an old motel, you've got Bluegrass RECC, so almost all the properties with one or two exceptions along US 25 there are being used for commercial purposes. We think it'd be appropriate for this. I think this is one of those situations where the picture speaks 1,000 words. So in your packet, I submitted a picture of the subject property, and then I submitted a picture of the property to the north and the south of it. If you look at those, I think that'll tell you a lot about what the area is being used for. To the north is the property of the county that Bert was talking about. Basically, looks like a salvage or towing lot. It's got cars parked all over it. To the south, there is one mobile home there, then the old motel building, and then on down the street, the Bluegrass REC property. And if you look at this property to the south, you can kind of see what that is. It is, as Mr. Thomas indicated, less than an acre, but according to this deed that I pulled from 1969, it is now exactly what it was in 1969. On your documents I submitted, I highlighted in yellow 3 lots there.
It was actually 3 lots, so when it was platted off, they were actually very small lots.
Back in those days, they were very small lots, as you know.
This is
about
probably
everything.
125.
So in your documents I submitted, this plat of the property, it was 3 lots, they are 50 foot wide. You'll see that, so that's exactly what it's been since 1969, that is what it is today, it's about 28 acres. It does have sewer on it, sewer is currently being utilized and is available. And because it has been what it is, and basically there's no method to expand it, we can't go to the adjoining property owners and insist that they give us enough property that we can expand this. We believe it would be appropriate to waive that 1 acre requirement for a commercial lot. Mr. Fritz is here with me tonight. He intends to use this. He's in the trucking and heavy equipment business. He intends to build a building on it, use it for that business. His equipment would be stored there on the property. His trucks will be brought in there. Might be some work done on those at that location. That would be his intention at this point in time.
I was hearing Mr. Fritz come up and have him testify to those comments. I know.
Mr. Fritz, would you explain to the commission?
I need to get his address, his name and address.
Justin Fritz, 256 Evansdale Avenue, Richmond, Kentucky.
Please raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Go ahead, sir.
What do you want to use this for, Mr. Fritz?
I run a couple dump trucks and small excavation business. And I want this to be my central headquarters, my hub. I'd like to build a shop on it. That way I can pull my trucks in and work on them, my equipment and work on them. It's just kind of if I got a couple of guys that work for me, they can all come in, clock in at the same time. It's just gonna be, my basic headquarters.
What was this property being used for when you acquired it?
Mobile home, pretty much the same thing. He's in the mobile home moving business. I'm more in the trucking and heavy equipment business.
I saw where that trailer actually was on, I went by the day. I took out one of these.
Have you been familiar with this property since before you acquired it?
Yes.
How many years back would you indicate that you have some knowledge about the property?
Since it was suburban propane a long time ago.
Give us an approximation of that, 5, 10, 20
years, probably 10
Okay.
years.
And was it being utilized in the propane business since then, up until recently?
It was abandoned for several years. It just sat empty and run down.
Has it ever been used for agricultural purpose?
No. Those propane transfer stations, agricultural.
The lots are big gravel.
Yeah.
It's not lots of gravel.
It's just gravel, fencing roads around.
Any questions, comments?
Some questions, Mr. Fritz, give them just a minute.
We all have to say that here. This card. Okay, is that all you got, sir?
Yeah, that's all we got.
All right, thank you. At this time, I'll recognize anyone in the audience. Yes, please come up to the podium. Please state your name and address for the record.
Brenda Horn, 1124 Park Lane, Richmond.
Please raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Confirm.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, I live right behind that. I've been there for 50 years, and it was a propane gas. We took care of the property most of our life there. We mowed it, cleaned it up when we first moved there. I would like to leave it like it is. The county moved in, and we've got all that traffic with the trucks. They've moved in, and we've got all that traffic with the trucks. Our bedrooms is on both sides, and it's a lot of noise. A lot of traffic in that little area, just a little resident area. And we've lived there 50 years, and I'm not sure that it is.
What's the period of this?
Pardon?
What's the period of this?
The trucks running in and out, and then at winter time, the state, they have their salt there. We never got a notice on that.
We're not talking,
Yep.
we're not talking about that.
Okay, behind us.
The trucks are in and out of the businesses.
Yes, yes.
A
And
lot of businesses.
I think she's actually talking about the road department.
no, even behind us, they've got trailers. They've set up 2 trailers already, and
A lot of property around this are businesses, is that right?
No, where I live, right behind it, is just a small neighborhood.
That's not what's creating the noise, it's the
No,
business.
it's the business behind me, yeah, where they put the fence up. Yeah, trucks running in and out.
Okay,
That's all I have.
okay, thank you, ma'am. Is there anyone else like to recognize has a different opinion? Yes, sir. State your name and address for the record.
Ron Davis, 2023 Berea Road, lot 3.
Okay, raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead.
Well, since Norman's has moved in there, it's been a thorn in the side of the whole neighborhood. And he's really, really loud. He has no respect for his neighbors.
Let me interrupt you. You understand that the person that's applying for this zone change is not Norman, right? This is a new owner.
Yeah.
Okay.
The mobile home moving people.
No, that's who's there now.
Okay.
Mr. Fritz is a different company. He's bought the property, right?
Oh, he did buy the property.
Yeah, he's
Okay, well,
not the mobile home.
all I know, the people that are there now make a lot of noise. This is a residence with a lot of elderly people that live behind there. And it's been, I've lived there for 19 years. It's been a nice, quiet, peaceful neighborhood. And since the other people have been there, it's been noisy.
That's not him.
Right, but I don't know what he's gonna do, but hopefully it won't be noisy also.
Well, so, just for your benefit, just so you know, this property, because it's non-conforming, because it's grandfathered in, some people call it, it's never been through the site development plan process. If you were here tonight, you heard us go through that process, right? We make a deal with things like petition, stormwater, we make a deal with lighting issues and blacktopping issues, blacktopping the parking lot, cleaning it up, make sure your lighting is shielded so it's not, doesn't spill on the neighbor's property. This property's never been through that. Mr. Fritz, if he gets his own change approved, if he does, that's just the first step. Then he would have to go through the site development plan process that everybody else went through tonight too. So, that might be the forum to express some of your concerns, to make sure that, I mean, he'd have to follow the rules of stopping layers. Mr. Norman, under a pre-existing grandfather status, maybe didn't have to as much. So this actually could be a good thing for the property.
Well, I hope so. I know that they said something about being propane. I lived there 19 years. There was never a propane business there. There was an abandoned propane tank there, but it's been an empty lot since I've lived there.
Long time, yeah.
That's all you have?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir, for checking.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else in the audience that has maybe a different issue? Yes, Mr. Rose?
Somebody I heard mention,
Yeah.
because the zoning of this property is approved, the zoning behind it residential, we would have to put in a landscape barrier that would block this property from that residential area, would help to cut the noise and all those kind of things. Mr. Fritz, you heard him testify that his work that he intends to do would be inside his building.
It's setback requirements.
So we have to meet all those requirements, absolutely.
Sir.
Oh,
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please state your name and address for the record.
Sandra Henderson, 1112 Park Lane, Richmond, Kentucky.
Please raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
Thank you, ma'am. Go ahead.
I have a question for the gentleman.
Okay.
What kind of business are you gonna put in there? Are you gonna be hammering and making noises like they do with them trailers they have now? I can't talk much.
No, it's gonna be like a central hub, like everyone meets there and then we go to work. We've got something done.
Won't you do remodeling trailers or building stuff like that? That way something.
No, we don't remodel trailers or anything to do with the trailer business.
So it's just gonna be like a big garage to work on stuff.
I just want to build a garage.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Any questions, comments? Yes,
Mentioned here that, it had been sold to a couple of companies. gas and oil companies or anything, is there any kind of disposal on that land of anything that the environment?
We left up to him for his vote.
Yeah, we regulate underground tanks, we regulate the state level, this, if I remember, the whole things were about
I think it was liquid propane, and those tanks are above ground. We're not aware. Mr. Fritz, are you aware of there having ever been an underground petroleum gasoline tank of any kind? No, not underground.
Thank you, Mr. Ross. That's all question. I'll floor for a motion.
Mr. Farmer, again, this applicant has presented the board with those findings, and Judge Klaus mentioned as far as those findings are that the existing application adequate. Presentation is included, what's in your packet, as well as Mr. Fritz's testimony, comments from the people in the audience and the administrative staff. So the basis for the findings made today are required. Thank you, sir.
Okay, motion still open for motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the zone change for 2021 Berea Road pursuant to, those things which we've heard tonight from all the people in the area out here, and also all the stuff that we heard and looked at in this package.
Would you move to adopt the proposed findings, on that basis when you use the package? Okay.
We have a motion to approve, is there a second to the motion? Have a motion and second, any further discussion?
I would just like to comment that I think it's a good opportunity for us to clean that area up and be respectful to the people who live there, because it's kind of been,
Limbo.
they've done whatever they wanted to do for a time, and this is an opportunity to fix it so that you aren't listening to noise, and so we don't see something nasty driving by.
Thank you.
So it is a good opportunity to do this, and then if it is approved, they'll come back with a plan, and we'll say, you're gonna have to build a fence, and you can't be out there at midnight, and you can't have a light running into your bedroom. So this is a good thing,
Thank you.
is my opinion.
All right, any other comment? If not, then we'll have a vote.
Bill Buchanan. Yes. Shannon Kennedy.
Yes.
Fritz.
Yes.
Mary Alford.
Yes.
Bill Klaus.
Yes.
Ryan Adams.
Yes.
Robert Farmer.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Then we go on to leave off policy, Mr. Stevens, and go, okay? Thank you for coming down.
Everybody good? We need a break? What's next?
Everybody is,
Now let me control it.
I know, I'm gonna make copies of mine. She's a joint in the mouth.
These meetings were posted on
Jail calls it, Madison County tax.
you know, we're gonna have to discuss the bridges to here.
There's something that's not right.
North Third on that.
They used to feed them lunch.
I had three of them come up, hey, Shane, what that was? I know it's wrong. I'm like, yeah, what's happening, boys?
All right, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call the meeting back to order, ask, Mr. Thomas to call roll, make sure everybody's back.
Bill Welch. Here. Brian Adams. Bill Buchanan. Yes. Bill Changer.
Yes.
Bud Fritz.
Yes.
Mary Iker.
Yes.
Robert Gould.
Yes. Next order of business is zone change for 1700 Red House Road. Is the proper notification been made, Kurt?
I have. Just a little quick, brief background on this property for Red House Road and Three Forks Road. Very similar to what we saw with Mr. Wheatley, a little while ago. It is a major subdivision plat, but some of the lots, on this plat are less than 10 acres. And that's not permitted in the ag zone. So it does require a zone change to single family residential. It is still large tract development, but not quite large enough, and that's why we're here. Corey Alex is representing now.
Before you start, Mr. Isaacs, would you, the request on this one is single family low density? Is that right?
Yeah, well, it's single family, it's low density would be an acre or larger.
That's all.
It does say low 60.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sale, application.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
please, thank you. My name's Corey Isaacs. I represent the petitioner today. My office address, 306 West Main Street. You're looking at about 72 acres of a 300-acre tract. That tract runs along 3/4 from Red House all the way to the rear, close to Overlook Farms as well. There's a couple other clusters of neighborhoods and residential areas. In particular, as Mr. Thomas mentioned, we're only looking at about 7 lots here. The lot sizes do vary. Each are larger than an acre. Some go as far as being 20 acres due to the fact that some do not contain 10 acres. It does require the requested zone change. I will point to the comprehensive plan, which states that these single-family low-density areas are intended to serve as a transition, the buffer between agricultural areas and suburban development. That's exactly what this tract does. As mentioned previously, you do have Overlook Farms along with this small cluster of homes to the south side of the map as you show. Importantly, this application does not include a requested zone for the remaining portion of the farm. We request that it maintain its agricultural nature.
Can I see that? Can you put that up here?
He put it up. Yeah,
for shake though. This is the current plan. You want to look at it?
Is that what you're showing?
Yeah.
Make 2 copies.
Yeah, you need a couple.
No, there's. Yes. Go ahead, Rob. Anybody else want one?
Not a problem at all. The track is also off Red House Road, which the comprehensive plan refers to as an urban boundary, which is likely to be developed for future purposes. That purpose, one of the purposes being residential development. If you all don't have any questions for me at this point in time, I would like to call my client so we can testify and lay some findings for the record. If I may, Mr. Frazier.
Yes, sir. Please state your name.
Paul Frazier, 1406 Barnes Mill Road.
Please raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
Go ahead, sir.
Mr. Frazier, for the present, as I gave my short spiel, you're one of the owners of this tract of land which has been requested as a zone change, correct?
Yes, sir.
And how many acres is the entire farm?
300.
Now, you're not attempting today to request a zone change for that entire farm, right?
No, I'm not.
The portion of the farm, it would be the corner of Red House Road and Three Forks?
Yes, sir.
And how many tracts are we attempting to add into that section?
Just what we're doing today?
Yes, sir.
I think there was 7.
7 tracts. Each of those tracts, the only purpose would be for single residential family, correct?
Yeah, we've got some really good restrictions. I mean, I've already done that, so it'll just be, it's gotta be 1,900 square feet.
So lot 16 gonna go with this, the one on the corner of Red House and 3 4.
No, we've already got.
No, that one's separate. It has enough, acreage where it's not required.
The one that fronts Red House Road, is that right?
Correct. It's large enough, it doesn't require a rezoning. It can maintain its agricultural zone and allow for single family
It's
residents.
14.9 acres on that.
The one on the corner of Red House and 3 4.
Just a minute.
No, that one's 6.75. The one next to it's
Go ahead
14.
and do your, excuse me, go ahead and do your testimony, and then I'll ask, if she wants to come up and ask questions.
And notice there, no other purposes are gonna be permitted, correct?
No.
And you're not building a typical subdivision with intertwining streets and utilities. Each one of these tracts will just be a single home with their own entrance and exit, correct?
Yes, like, Red House has got 2 driveways, well, that's, right now, well, that's all we're gonna have, we're only doing 2 tracks on Red House, and, to the left of the Red House, it's just like, that's tracks on that, how they divided that, it's the same thing, the same thing.
And earlier I mentioned that you're near other residential developments. This property also touches Overlook Trail in the rear.
Overlook Trail.
Yeah, on the Wilderness Trail in the very
Yes, sir.
back.
Yes.
And to the left and right, as you look at the plat, there are other, single family residences, correct?
Yes.
And there's also agricultural areas as well. As you would be, I guess that would be to the north as you would travel. That's still vacant farmland
Yes, sir.
on the rear. And here you're also keeping the agricultural area of the remaining portion of that 300 acres.
Yes. The reason why we're doing this is everybody can't find their own little farm. I mean, yeah, they can get a half an acre, but everybody sort of want, like Corey said, we're from 20 acres down to about 5.
Excuse me, I went down there this morning, to take a look at the property. I guess I turned around at that barn there, to
Yes.
the left. That road's pretty wide. I was impressed how wide that road was.
They just redid it just like a
It's at
few
least
years
20
ago.
foot, maybe wide.
Yes, sir.
I didn't drive all the way down to the last lot. That road's that width all the way down to the last lot.
They did it all the way.
All the way.
Yes, sir.
All the way through.
And we're leaving the barns, we're putting the barns on a different lot, so I'm not gonna tell you they're gonna tear them down, but I don't think they're going to, but they're pretty good barns. We're trying to keep it as is.
They're not shown on here, because we're not at the site development plan stage yet, but there are entrances that are already approved by the road department. We thought we were gonna do this, without having to do some change before we figure out the lot size. So the surveyor had already contacted the road department, they're marked, you might see some of the flags out there.
Yes.
The entrances, they already approved, the new entrances to these lots.
And Mr. Treasurer, you're not gonna have any problem with any utilities either, everything's gonna be available, water,
It is.
electric.
Quick question, you said backs up over little trail, is that the 70-some acre part of the 300?
That would be the portion that's not being rezoned. So that would be the portion that's gonna continue to be agricultural, and it would serve as a buffer and a transition as required by the comprehensive plan. Any more questions, Mr. Frazier?
Question, comment? Yeah.
Usually ask this property that, since it's part of the larger tract, you have it already surveyed, what you're asking for the zoning reclassification, and there is a legal description of it.
Correct, there's a meets and bounds description, that's part of the packet, along with a printout of the plat, which indicates the different tracks.
Obviously, the class, not sure went up before you have to do zone changes.
Stuart Spencer, he did it.
But that packet does contain a legal description of those lots.
To be rezoned.
Any other questions or comments?
Or can you just maybe touch on the 5-acre part, you said it's not conforming or?
So, the only way for it to remain ag under our regulation is to have each lot be more than 10 acres. If it's less than 10 acres, a major subdivision is not permitted in the agriculture zone. Because they have lots within this development, not all of them, but some of them are less than 10 acres. It requires the zone changes as making lot.
I think we only had 3 of them.
Yeah, it looks like
3 out of 7.
And I would take the opportunity to point out, of the 7, we're still talking about 72 acres. It's just the way the land lays, it doesn't give us they're not Lego blocks, unfortunately, where we got 10 square, but it is about the same proximity.
What we tried to do is where it had the draws, like between, let's say, what it laid, we tried to give each person, we looked at where the house would go, where would be a good place to split the lots, and that's the reason why we did that. We tried to keep it as is, and that way people aren't gonna be out a bunch of money trying to go in there and flatten everything out, because that's not what we want. We want to keep it the way it is, the way it looks now.
Right. Okay. Okay, any other questions or comments while recognizing one of the audience? Thank you all. Is there anyone in the audience like to address this? Our land use change? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. My name is Luann Bryant,
Your address?
1701 Red House Road.
Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Go ahead.
Okay, I live directly across from Three Forks is my house. So people coming in and out of Three Forks are facing my house. And let me tell you, the road that's coming towards town, if you're coming down Red House Road, has a little hump in it. There are at least 2 or 3 wrecks in front of my house from people pulling out of Three Forks every year. Brady Taylor was one of them that had a wreck there. And that's my safety.
Is this come from his property, this knoll or whatever it is?
It's a no, but this is gonna increase the traffic coming out on Red House Road from Three Forks.
Right. So
But
whose property is the knoll or the?
it's on Red House Road. The people are coming so fast, cause that's a straight stretch on Red House Road. They're flying. So if someone sitting there at Three Forks is pulling out and they don't see them, the people that are flying down the road. My mailbox gets knocked over 2 or 3 times every year.
But this is only 7 residences, right?
Right. So it's not gonna increase it that much. I didn't know what was gonna go in.
It's just one house per lot. So.
Right. So I'm not that concerned. But I am telling you that is a safety concern because the cars coming down Red House Road right there, they're coming over like a little knoll, and the people that are sitting at the stop sign there at Red House and Three Forks don't see them until they're already pulled out. Scary. That's all I got.
Thank you, Mayor. Anyone else?
House Road, I'm right next to this one. I just have a question.
Can you raise your right hand? Swear to tell the truth, or please tell the truth.
I do.
Thank you, ma'am. Go ahead.
Looking at this map, lot 15 and 16, that's not part of this conversation today. Is that remaining agricultural?
16, I think was justified, is still agricultural.
Okay.
Okay,
so that's.
You have horses next to this?
Yeah, I'm the horse people.
Yeah, I wish I was next to that. I saw, no, this guy that's already wanting to build, he's gonna build an excellent home. I think he's got 2 kids. I mean, that's what we're doing this for.
Perfect, yeah, that's my only question. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Sharon O'Banion, 1635 Red House Road.
Raise your right hand.
Pardon me?
Please raise your right hand.
Oh,
You
yes.
swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes, I do.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
I just want to know from the owner builder, are all the residents there, are their driveways gonna empty out onto Three Forks Road?
Yes,
Rather
ma'am.
than Red
Yes,
House?
not only 2 coming on Red House, the 2 that are there now, you've got a driveway and a double gate, where that, there's a double gate there, and then where that driveway went into that trailer,
Okay,
those are the only 2 that's gonna be on Red House.
They're existing.
Yes. Yes, sir.
okay, yeah, I understand that, I'm kind of catty corner. I'm just thinking, it's a little safer for those who drive onto Three Forks Road and then get onto Red House. But I have the same traffic concerns, and maybe this is later down the line as the other resident. There's a hill there, and it's, from my point, when I'm pulling out of my driveway, it's very dangerous.
Yeah, you don't back out on that road.
Yeah.
And contact the state highway department.
Yeah, it's a state.
It's also 388, Highway 388 is Red House Road.
Right, you call the state highway department to make a complaint, official complaint that there's a blind spot there or a hump.
I will, yeah.
You did?
No, I've talked to them when they've been out there, but I have not made a formal complaint.
State road doesn't do anything, we don't have any control over it. We wish we did.
Yeah, we don't have any jurisdiction over the state highway, but they need to know if there's an issue, so we'll be one of the contact.
I will do that.
I think they just need to slow down out there. That's the problem.
Well, it's a straight stretch.
Another question, are you going to, can I direct it to the gentleman?
Sure.
Are you going to like sell the lot and then build for the person who buys the lot? Or are you going to build on each one of those lots, you know, build a home on each one of those lots and sell it as a 15, 20, 10, 12 acre home already on the lot?
I'm not going to, I mean, I can, but I have to approve all the plans. I mean,
Okay.
I've got to approve whatever, and if I've got 200 acres left out there, I'm not gonna put something in that I don't want.
And what do you want? I mean, like what
Well, I mean,
average square foot?
it has to be
home?
1,900 square if it's just a ranch, and then if it's, past 2 levels, it has to be like 15, and then maybe 1,000, 12, I can't remember on the other floor. And then you have to have a pretty good sized garage, and anything that's out back, you know, anything that's around it has to look like the home. And you can't have junk parked outside. I mean, we've got some really good restrictions.
That sounds good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
And that's all I have.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Is there anyone else that maybe this issue? Would you like to address any of these?
No, simply request a motion be made, finding that the proposed findings which are included in the packet along with the testimony from my client, along with the comments from the audience, after approve the zone change and comply with covenants of work.
Any questions concerning the application of comments? Open floor for motion.
I'll make a motion, we accept the, information in the packet and the testimony and discussion here today as Mr. Staff for the zone change at 1700 now.
You're ready to approve it to the technical.
Adopt the proposed findings,
discussion? Not we'll have a vote.
Mary Rocker,
Yes.
Doug Fritz,
Yes.
Shannon Pennington,
Yes.
Susan Cannon, Brian Adams,
Yes.
Bill Klaus,
Yes.
Robert Farmer.
Yes. Next on the agenda.
Take 1 minute to.
I have somebody who.
All right, let's go.
Okay, next on the agenda is 3907, 3911 Irving Road.
Wish I could show you all this on the map, but I can't. If you're familiar with the Waco Fire Department, it's very close to that, across the street. Just outside of the Waco DP, just up the hill from that. Well, I'll let you do your thing, and I'll tell you what.
This is
Is that building on the lot, there's nothing on the lot? There's a building there, and actually two buildings, there's one for the.
Building with loading dock, just what we're
Yeah.
talking
That's
about.
on the left.
They don't go on the lot, okay. Okay, that's all.
And, well, that's a good place to begin. Just to the left, as you would enter, there's that storage area, which is part of the currently commercial use. The residential use, there are residences behind the subject property. However, surrounding it on both sides and across the street, it's all different mixed uses, which is exactly what the comprehensive plan refers this area is appropriate for. There's no hiding the ball on this. We anticipate that this would be maybe a small Dollar General that would be able to service the area, which the comprehensive plan refers to as being a small retail with few traffic, serving folks who are a little bit further away from town. I think the area is appropriate for that. It complies, it's got enough road frontage, there'd be ample parking, the utilities are adequate and available. And just particularly this area where it's not a high residential area where you do have those mixed use, you do have the church, you do have storage, and then across the street you do have the Waco Volunteer Fire Department. We believe that this is appropriate for the requested zone change. My client is here, and if you all don't have any further questions for me, I'll call him if I may.
Questions, comments? Okay. Please state your name and address for the record.
Leonard Dyer, 285 Van Reeves Road, Waco.
Okay, please raise your right hand, swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
Go ahead, sir.
Sir, you're one of the owners of the subject property today located on Urban Road.
Yes, sir.
That'd be 3907, 3911.
Yes, sir.
Surrounding this property, you have commercial usage, you have the church, you have the fire department. There's only one residence in the rear of the property.
I think there's 4.
Well, the 4 that goes up to on the farther right-hand side, correct? But I'm talking immediate rear, there's only one, right? And this property is 2.3 acres?
Yes.
And it's your own intent to develop this or to allow for it to be developed to provide a small commercial business, something along the line of a Dollar General? You were present earlier when I made comments and statements, everything I said there is true and accurate based on your knowledge and belief?
Yes, sir.
That's all I have in regards to this one. If you all wish to ask any questions, he's happy to address the same.
Is there any questions?
I don't have a question, just on the proposed findings, the dates correct. I think got it for tomorrow, the 17th.
Mr. Miller, I think I've sent you those in a Word document.
It might, maybe that's this report.
That's, yeah. And if regarding that, even if you guys do adopt those proposed findings, I usually do add include to those based on the other findings that you guys made, but yeah.
Thank you.
I would,
I know you put on here that, the sewer are not available, this, can't tie this in with the sewer system.
They're pretty good ways away from that right now.
I thought they might be.
There's no requirement for sewer, septic is acceptable for commercial lot of this size. I will remind the planning commission that this area was recently added, made part of urban corridor. Previously it was a rural corridor. When we redid the comp plan and land development regulations, this area was updated to be part of the urban corridor. I think Corey mentioned that, so I just want to make sure y'all have that information.
Any questions or comments? Anybody there? Does anyone here in the audience like to address this? Okay, if not, then I'll look for a motion. You need to say anything?
Move to adopt the proposed.
Now move to adopt the proposed,
Accept findings. Great.
and all the rest of it.
Now, full second, you got a motion?
That was a motion. You got a motion.
Got a motion, and a second. You got a motion, second. Any further discussion? Okay. Take on, without a roll.
Mary Oliver,
Yes.
Doug Fritz,
Yes.
Shannon Pennington,
Yes.
Bill Buchanan,
Yes.
Brian Adams,
Yes.
Bill Klaus,
Yes.
Robert Arnold.
Yes.
I promise I will not have a deal like this for y'all. That's all it is, so.
Oh, well, listen, we got to go.
Is there any new business we have to work on?
I have- Mary Oliver, Doug Fritz, Bill Klaus,
Yes.
Brian Adams,
Yes.
Bill Buchanan, Shannon Pennington,
Yes.
Robert Arnold.
Yes. Thanks everyone, thanks for your patience.
You guys really had a good office.